into
Where are those voices coming
Streamlabs, and then if somebody
That's Drew.
leaves the Skype or
That's
the
exciting.
Zoom, you need to redo everything.
Okay.
So I mean, it's just not worth
Ken,
it.
put your microphone on.
Okay, thank you very much for telling me to do that. Drew, everybody's here. This is awesome.
Everybody's here.
All these awesome people.
You got a timer?
I do have a timer, right?
What are we?
Not that it matters, because
Uh-oh, what's our time limit tonight? We need to budget time.
Budget.
it doesn't matter. It always goes way over.
Right.
I like this guy. He's on it. Budget time. Yes. Goes from a 16-hour to a 20-hour edit once you go 45 minutes. All right.
Don't edit out any of my parts.
Oh, we never edit your parts.
Just do an uncut What's Neat show.
All right, Austin Allard is running camera for us tonight. Austin, would you be so kind as to give us a countdown?
3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Jelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at jelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week in Model Railroading, show number 157 for May 22nd, 2021. Who are all these people waving? Tonight I've got some amazing people, as always, at the table. I've got the amazing Mike Budde sitting over here.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Mike. I've got the always so beautiful Michele Patterson sitting right next to me. I've got Denny Jelsma, all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. And Denny, thank you so much for bringing the warm temperatures up here. It's been 80 degrees every day since you've arrived.
That's right.
Rock and roll, I love it. On the very end, we've got Sugar Fire Joshua Barton.
Yeah, all right, Joshua.
And out in Skype land, we have the new Daniel of the industry. I've got...
Wait, okay, Lionel, what are you teaching this kid?
What is he? I'm sorry, Ken.
What are you teaching him?
So you think every time you're on the show you get to eat donuts now? Is that the deal?
You got to tell me when you're going to start. Sorry, Drew. I didn't realize we'd started already.
The person eating on the end, eating donuts, is Drew Warrington. Welcome, Drew.
What are you doing?
I ran out of donuts because we threw them away.
Can't say that word on video.
Scones here.
You'll have to bleep
They're
it
about
out.
2 inches wide. They're pretty bite-sizable. Perfect for eating during podcasts. I recommend them.
It's the cooking show, Joshua.
Mike.
Oh, you guys.
I sound like I'm wearing a mask. All right, and to continue, the man eating the big chocolate donut. We got Lionel Strang tonight.
Sorry. Didn't realize. It's
Man,
so exciting.
You drop in the advertisements and all that introduction, we're already 4 minutes into this show.
I got a question for you, Ken.
Okay.
You said there was like so many awesome people here. Now, we all agree that Michele is the most awesome person here. But after the rest of us, who's your favorite?
You are.
I'm not sure I feel comfortable being here for this decision.
It's hard to speculate on that.
Well, just say him, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, sounds good.
There you go.
Oh, you guys are my favorite. I've never met a person in this hobby I didn't like.
Yeah, you
Everybody's
have.
always been nice to me, good people. That's the tendency of modelers because they model all the time. That's the therapy that keeps them being cool. Keeps you out of bars, too. It's the
right.
best hobby in the world. All right, so Denny's in town today. And like we said, he's from Jacksonville, Florida. And Denny, we went down to Microengineering. I wanted to show you them making track. And they were making O-scale track. What do you think about that?
Oh, that was fantastic. It reminded me of my old days when I worked in manufacturing and seeing all the molds, and it was great. It was just great.
That's awesome. Then we went for our afternoon nap. We went to Sugar Fire. And we got loaded up with brisket. And what did you get?
Oh, I got pulled pork. And Joshua takes
that
care
was
of me. He gives me extra.
Look at this video clip. It does look good.
And it's great.
So thank you very much, Joshua, for giving us a parking spot right out front.
No problem. Anytime.
Wow.
And he parks. He parks so well.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he does. I should have got footage of
Okay.
him
Yeah, we
parking.
should have had
That's
some
bad.
footage.
Yeah.
That
He had
truck will park itself, actually.
3 wheels on the road, 1 wheel on the
I
sidewalk.
didn't know you could do that to a car. It looked kind of funny. And then we went to a more organized organization, and that is the Port Harbor Railroad. I took him over there to see Eddie Bauer and our friend Carl and all the other boys that work over there so hard on that 7-mile short line that loads barges, and it's just an amazing railroad. And you got to look at that Port Harbor, what was it, SW12 or 15?
I can't remember. All I know, it was a ex-UP because I love UP, and I was just in seven heaven. I just got to touch it and like it healed me,
That was amazing. It was really neat to rail fan on property where you know the security agents and it's all good. So we
Yeah.
had permission to do that. Yeah. And then also one of the primary principals of that company, his name is Carl, showed us his layouts. He's got 2 train layouts in the offices of the Port Harbor Railroad because he's the boss. He can do that. But they were impressive. I've got video clips of both of them.
And the electronics is fantastic, and all the new LEDs. And he's an old guy like me, and it was just so impressive to see how modern that layout really was.
It was nice, and he also had another layout in there, a lot of BTS structures on this layout. So he's got the old early era layout, and then he's got the more modern era where he had that military train that he was so proud of. But thank you very much, Carl, and all the guys over there for playing along and showing Denny some fun rail fanning.
Oh, it's great, fantastic.
And that is almost all of my notes.
You never took me there. Why have you never taken me there?
Because weren't you here at night? I saw the video clips of that the other day. You were here on the way going to the Kansas City NMRA National, weren't you?
Well, yeah, but if I'd known I had a chance to go over there, you never even said nothing about it.
You didn't tell me you wanted to go somewhere. Denny looked at me and said, "What are we going to do Friday?" And I'm thinking, I better come up with some ideas. And I literally came up with them on the road while we were traveling.
Well, when we entered, the thing that really impressed me, when we entered into the property of the railroad, it says, usually, they had nice signs, welcome and all this. It said, Canadians eating donuts are not welcome.
That's very true.
Well, there you go.
They're neon signs.
There you go.
Mike,
So,
here's some more pastries. Why don't you roll them in here so everybody can have some?
See what we can do.
Now, who
here.
sent us all of these wonderful pastries because they knew Lionel, Strang, and Denny was going to be on the show?
holy mackerel, look at that.
Yeah.
Lionel.
The whole spread.
Lionel, we know that you have a fan club, but
Mike, help yourself.
when I come on, it's just something else. If you look at the,
Before we get any farther, so you're right, Denny. You are an old guy, but that's okay. We're okay with it. Let's talk about this guy here in the red shirt. His name is Drew Warrington, and Drew and I. When did we meet?
Oh God. I want to say November, but it could have been even earlier than that.
He represents what everybody says that the hobby's just a bunch of old guys, and it's not, because we all started at a young age. Most of us started at a young age.
How old are you, Drew?
So,
How old are you?
I'm 16.
16? And you're quite the internet sensation already. You really are.
Yes, you are. I watched your YouTube channel. Dude, you've already
impressive.
you've interviewed all the big players in the hobby.
no. Well,
I mean, I haven't even gotten that far yet.
I got an email from this guy about a year ago, and he says, "Would you be on my YouTube channel?" And I said, of course, as I would say, "Don't bother me, kid. I'm busy." So we did an interview, and from there we got. Who did you do? You talked to Tony Cook, and then
from there. Well, I fully attribute you and Tony Cook with everything that I've gotten to do, because I got to you. You said, "Well, why don't you go check out Tony Cook?" And then from Tony Cook, it went to the next thing. I've been working with Model Railroad News. It's really been a great, pretty fast-paced 6 months. I really appreciate everything that you've helped me out with.
You've only been working there 6 months?
Model Railroad News, it's been since February that I've really been doing stuff constantly.
Wow.
Yeah. And our big challenge was getting Jason Schron.
Yeah, but
Jason's
now
wonderful. He's a character.
There's an
and
open
he's
line of
wonderful.
communication, and it's really something I would have not believed would have ever happened a couple months ago.
So here's the deal. So I told him one day that me and Tony Cook and I.
Proper grammar. This needs to be an educational program.
Yeah, exactly. My teachers in high school always told me if I didn't pay attention and I didn't try harder and apply myself, I wouldn't go very far. So I guess we never found out. So anyways, Tony Cook and I were going to interview Jason Schron on a Wednesday afternoon, and I said to Drew, I said, "Hey, you want to be part of our podcast where we're going to interview Jason Schron?" And he goes, first I said, "You want to be part of the podcast on Wednesday afternoon?" And he says, "Oh, no, I can't. I got track and field. I got to go to school." And one of our official flight attendant of the AML network, Tracy Boyd, said to me, "Don't say anything. He's got to stay in school." And I said, "But I think he wants to talk to Jason Schron." And she's like, "No, he has to stay in school," because she's also a former teacher. So then, like a day later, I happened to just mention to you offhandedly. I said, "Oh, geez, it would have been cool because it was going to be Jason Schron." And he immediately goes, "Oh, well, I'll just skip practice."
What turned out happening was canceled by rain, so it wasn't too bad. I mean,
okay. And from there, you were off to the races. There,
from there, it's been exponential how fast this has grown. I mean, I wouldn't have believed it a year ago.
And you just had an interview with Shane Wilson, didn't you? Scale Trains.
Yeah. So the podcast after Jason happened, I kind of just stopped because I didn't know where to go next. Because I always had that goal, and then it happened, and I was like, well, where am I going to go from there? So I took a month off, and then I was so fortunate. Scale Trains commissioned that interview. And so ever since then, it's been a super open line of communication with Shane and Drayton over at Scale Trains. That was a great recorded conversation we had right after the MTH Tooling acquisition announcement. And then a week ago, I had him live on my channel for 2.5 hours on a Friday night.
And who else have you had on besides that? You've had Jason Schron. You've had who else? And Tony. But tell us about what you and Tony Cook are doing, because you and Tony are doing all kinds of really cool things.
Oh my God! Well, I attribute everything to you and Tony. I mean, it's been a pretty great couple of months here. We've been doing YouTube videos covering pre-production information about models, and then all those videos are later followed by a review. So we've done a whole bunch of Rapido stuff, and then Rapido, in the past couple months, they've kind of been laying back on announcements. So we moved over to Scale Trains. We did their SDL39. We're gonna be with Shane Wilson and cover their Big Blow turbine announcement coming in just a couple months.
But
that's pretty much where things lie. And then I've been doing some review videos.
Yeah, great show.
The PA video I just put out a couple months ago, I remade that about 3 times. I mean, I didn't post any videos besides that live show for about 2 months. During that time, I really tried to make, because I've been the interview kid, and I know it's great, but I wanted to make some other content too. So I made that PA video, bought a whole bunch of stuff, made it really good, not just Drew's train videos. And I have 3 queued up that just need editing right now, so I'm going to try to get it out on a weekly basis because content takes hours to make.
So you know how to edit video, Drew?
Well, yeah. I don't know if you want to overlay it, but I made the Walther's PA review, and for me, it was a little too polished for me, but I was just trying to make something that was up to quality with some of the bigger organizations we're doing. So
You know how to do
I like to think I accomplished
how-to videos, Drew?
I haven't done one in a while, but it's definitely something I want to try to get on doing.
I will pay you to do those for
Oh,
me for the
hold-
What's Neat
hold
show.
on.
Whoa!
He will pay you.
I know it's the
I would
middle of the
happily do
season,
it,
but
so-
can we trade? Can we trade Daniel for him and get him on our
Stop.
team?
We don't want Daniel for him. We want Daniel and him.
Okay, can we do that?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he doesn't
Do we
live
have
here.
enough-
He doesn't come in the basement every Saturday night.
Okay.
Wait.
We were lucky to
You
have
know,
Daniel,
if
right?
you would
Yes,
pay
very
for a plane
lucky.
ticket to Kansas, I would happily come out. But I mean, Delaware to Kansas on a plane, it's quite expensive once a week.
True.
Hey, I'm still in the room here. Hey, what happened?
And we're in St. Louis.
You're
yeah.
stuck in Canada.
Yeah, what? So is the border between the U.S. and Canada open yet?
I don't know.
No.
We're not talking
No.
about that.
We're
No,
not
it's
talking
still
about that.
closed.
Yeah, we should talk about politics this entire episode.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Canadian
Getting to
politics,
Brexit
yes.
too. We need to include the whole international community.
And we're only allowed to talk about Joshua's church on his layout.
That's right.
That's as close as we get
Yeah,
to
that's
that.
as far as we can get to politics.
Now, Drew, Tony Cook sent me a article that you had done with the PAs that you're talking about, and that must be the Wathers PAs. Is that right?
Yeah.
And this was a
Walter's
nice
Main Line
piece. It
South.
was very well written. Hats off to you. You do good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, writing wasn't something I did too much, and then Model Railroad News, I think I got into it for the video, and then I just started to work on writing, and it's something I enjoy.
So,
And who does,
hey,
who
Drew,
does your hair?
Who does my hair? Well, hairspray and a Amazon coronavirus quarantine purchase hairbrush.
Oh, there you go.
Two aspects for
Just jump
great
in.
looking hair. Of
Jump
course.
in.
Hey, Lionel, who does your hair?
Yeah, come
wait,
on.
do you have hair? Let me see.
So what happened?
Let's see. I want to see it. You haven't
Take off the
shown
hat.
it.
We
It
need to
was
see
getting
what
longer and
if you have
longer
hair.
during COVID. So I decided, with all my wisdom, that hey, I'll just take my my barber shears and I'll just fix it up.
That's
And things got kind of out of
Yeah,
control.
that's great. Yeah.
so you've been trimming hair off your head to make weeds on your layout.
Yeah, exactly.
Breast stuff? Yeah.
Well, that looks. I could take my dog clippers and do that. That's really easy. You got no hair. And
I
just a
didn't
little-
know I had this thing on my head. This
That's called a
peak out of
receding
hair.
hairline.
Found- It's horrible. I just
It's not horrible. It's just
it
part
makes
of
you look
life.
distinguished.
Look at how distinguished Denny looks.
Yeah,
And for
I know.
God's sakes, you could be like me where I haven't had a haircut in so long, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I know your hair is. Yeah.
Let's get off of hair and start talking about models. Denny, where did these pastries come from?
Okay, these pastries came from a fan of mine.
Okay.
And I became a fan of mine on the What's Neat This Week show.
Nice.
Okay.
And it turned out that he is
What'd I do with those pastries?
a
You ate them all.
Give me some
pastor.
more. Yum.
He is a pastor in my hometown of Pella, Iowa. His name is Chuck Muethler, and he is the pastor of the Emmanuel Reformed Church. And we just become buddies from this show. And he loves trains. He's kind of a transplant Dutchman. He's actually a German. And I guess they allow him to live in Pella. But anyhow, he is a great guy. But he was so offended when he saw Lionel eating this class Canadian donut.
Oh, he said class. Did you hear that?
And see,
Class, Lionel. I wouldn't put up with that, Lionel. If I were you, I would not put up with that.
So what he says, I'm going to send you some real pastries. And Pella and the Dutch people are known for their pastries. And he sent a big care box from Jelsma Bakery, and they are from the same province that I am in Friesland, Holland. And so that's real dear to my heart. But what I want to really say about Chuck, Pastor Chuck, this guy.
Chuck Muethler. Oh, don't talk to your mouth.
I have a question. I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Is this Chuck? Chuck is a model railroader, and he was watching What's Neat This Week.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow,
He watched
cool.
you eat that chocolate donut. Michele had some here 2 days later. We had a whole box of them.
How cool is that, Ken? All
It's
these
like
people.
You know what? Yeah, I did. I saw your donut, Lionel, and I went out and bought a ton of chocolate donuts.
You're the best. You're so awesome. You're awesome.
But what this pastor does is he mentors mentally challenged kids and at-risk kids. And he takes these kids, these teenagers, and he rail fans with them. And I asked him, where do you go? He said, well, I go to Ottumwa, I go to Des Moines, I go up on the Spine Line, I go to Cedar Rapids, and and man, that's a home week for me because I rail fanned all of those. But it was so impressive. I'm so impressed with that this guy would take his weekends and he goes camping with these kids. And I got a close friend that has 2 challenged boys, and one of them comes over and runs trains with me, and just to see the smile on his face, and he gives the parents a break from those kids because that's such a tough situation, but the parents love it, and they don't think it's tough, but and I was just so impressed with that, and he sent this, and these pastries are very expensive, and I feel very guilty that he spent so much money, but it's a great novelty from Pella, Iowa, and Pastor Chuck, all the rail fans out here want to say thank you for taking these kids and teaching them all about railroads, and I just think that's really
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sounds like he does great work.
Thanks for the pastries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Did you want to
You want to what?
ask Drew any questions?
Oh. So
Well, on
Drew,
a side note, if the Wegmans
guess not.
chain of grocery
jump in there.
stores would like to sponsor my videos, their scones
Scones.
are mini scones, by the way. They're pretty nice.
hey Drew, how did you? I'm always interested to, especially young people. I know it's probably a long story, but how did you have this? How did you get interested in trains? How did you become having a passion for this? Is it something you grew up with, or
Thomas
did you?
the Tank Engine on the public broadcasting system was probably what got me into it. But then my uncle was a contractor, and he was doing a job one day, and the guy who he was doing the job for had a 4x6 sheet of plywood with some HO track on it. And my uncle's like, oh, what's that? And the guy says, oh, I'm just trying to get rid of it. It's for model trains. And my uncle knew I was into that sort of stuff, so he said, how much do you want for it? And the guy was just looking to get rid of it, so he gave it to him for free. And then I got that for Christmas when I was about 5, and I'm still using it today as my crash test dummy.
Nice.
Wow, a great story.
Should we find out what Drew's channel is called, just so people can find it?
Oh, that's
and
true.
your Facebook
That is a pretty
page
important
too.
detail.
You got a Facebook page too, right?
Yeah, I started that recently. I got a couple people, they're like, you should make a brand page on Facebook. I'm like, that's probably a good idea. So I ended up doing that. Both the YouTube channel and the corresponding Facebook page are Drew at Nordell MRRC. So, Nordel.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think this guy's better than me.
Lionel, it's okay,
I'm
brother.
just
We
good at
all love
plugging
you,
myself.
You're getting old, Lionel. That's the problem. That's okay.
I am not. I'm good.
man. Yeah.
I got.
Go ahead, Lionel.
I want to find out. I got something I want to talk about, but shouldn't we be hearing what Mike Budde's got to say first? Because I feel like we're monopolizing the conversation.
Next time you come to St. Louis, Lionel, I want you to run the show, and I'm going to run camera.
No.
No,
Wow,
you can do
that's
this.
Brave.
No, he can do this.
I'm sure he can. I'm
like
just saying,
like Lionel said, Mike, what'd you bring tonight?
He's going to bring his microphone, and then it's not going to work. So you're going to be able to hear everybody else, but then he's just going to be silent, and you're going to have to put the closed captioning on the screen.
Okay, so now Mike's not going to get to talk yet because I'm going to say that I've got a video clip of when Lionel Strang was out here, and he interviewed every one of the individuals on the podcast crew outside on the Garden Railroad deck. Sorry. Right out there.
I did.
Yeah.
And I think the video clip that you just saw now was you were actually interviewing Daniel. And this was back in 2018, wasn't it?
I believe so. And that was when you and I first met, and a lifelong friendship began.
Oh, dude.
I have
Yeah.
I have a video of Lionel and me and you talking about this and how this show is going to blow up in 2 years. Do you remember that?
Into
did.
goo?
I-
Is it
I
going to be
have-
goo and it's going to get all over us?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
I
where
remember that.
afterwards we
I remember
agreed-
Lionel saying that. I remember.
You know, I think we should go through every single Lionel Strang appearance on the internet and get the hobby's going to explode into Model Railroad goo compilation. And
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's going to be over 1,000
It'll be a
times,
techno
just over and
song.
over.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a clip of Lionel and myself at a train show, but when I play it just goes black.
There you go. I think Lionel should run for president because then all kinds of clips would come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Mike,
So, Mike, what do you got over there?
I'd like to hear
Mike.
more about what Lionel has to say, actually.
Mike, would it have killed you to wear your Modeler's Life T-shirt? I mean,
Well,
come on.
I had
Serious.
to choose between 2 shirts, and this was a clean one. The other
So,
one was dirty. Sorry.
can I? You know, if you send me one, I will wear it.
All right, done.
I'll wear it next
I
time.
mean, if we're sending out T-shirts, I would also.
Yeah. Me
Let's
me
put
too.
it
We
on
will
the
all
list.
wear
never
a
send
Modeler's
us
Life
anything.
T-shirt. We will all wear the T-shirts.
Yeah, we can
I
have
have one.
an AML dedicated episode of the show.
That's right.
I think, Lionel, you
Yeah.
should get your next ones stitched.
Well, then he has to charge $100 for
I,
it.
I,
No, they're
I
not.
know,
Look at these
I know a
wonderful shirts
guy,
we've got on.
Lionel, if
These
you
are
want to
nice.
get some stuff stitched with your branding.
Okay.
Yeah, we know somebody. We got contacts.
We got a guy.
Drew needs a what's neat shirt.
He does.
I would
does.
wear it.
Excellent.
Maybe not to school, but I would wear it.
Well, you don't want to get beat up or anything.
Hey, what are you talking about?
You know how kids are.
So also with us tonight is our very good friend Mike Buddes. Hey, Mike, what have you been working on?
Hey.
The third
Mike?
time
What'd you
tried to
bring, Mike?
introduce him.
Did you bring stuff tonight, Mike?
Yes, I did.
How's the donuts?
They're very good. Excellent. Spectacular. Thanks. I can't wait till this is over so I can have some more.
Go ahead, eat them while we're shooting. It doesn't matter.
Now while you're talking, though.
Yeah, right. These 2 trucks are ones I've had the last couple weeks, but I put new wheels on them. That's the main difference. These are both classic metalworks, and that, like I said before, was kind of the weakest part of the model was the wheels. So new wheels really make an improvement. And I got those from John Tyson. He sells parts during the winter.
Is John
and
going to be
stuff.
coming back to St. Louis anytime? Is he going to be here for RPM meet or anything like that?
No, he works during the summer. He's an outside contractor. So.
Okay.
Then these are 3 of the Intermountain auto racks that I've managed to take the roofs off of, and 2 of them I just did real simply without modifying the end panels. This one and this one, all I did was straighten the ladders out, remove all the door hardware, and straighten the ladders out. And this one, I'm modifying the end panels to represent a specific prototype. So. I can't find any Rock Island blue paint, so I'm still looking for that on those.
Oh, those are the ones that like a miracle they showed up for you.
Right.
Yes. That's awesome,
From
dude.
Canada. From Canada.
Yes.
That's
What's
right.
the name of the shop?
Otter Valley. Otter
Oh, you
Valley
got
Metals.
from Otter Valley?
Otter
Yes.
Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Had a few of them for some
Yeah.
unknown reason, and they heard that Mike
A bunch.
didn't get
Sent,
any,
what did you send? 4?
4, I got
and
4.
yeah.
they volunteered them to Mike.
So let's give a shout out to Lauren James, who owns that
Yes.
shop.
Yes.
And,
Thank you very much.
and Lauren is a good guy, and Lauren is the first guy I think I've done I recorded 7,000 hours on the podcast, and he was the first guy I started yelling at. So it was the debut of the angry podcaster. But he's such a good guy. He didn't even care. He was just happy to be on the podcast. He's very nice, very, very nice gentleman, very enthusiastic about the hobby.
Good. Well, this rack has some station wagons that I made about 10 years ago to load my auto racks with. This is a conversion of the classic Metalworks Chevy Impala, but Rapido is coming out with a car similar to this, a 1980 Caprice station wagon and 4-door sedan, and they look really nice. So
I have a question for you, Mike.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I saw that thing with Rapido where they're doing that whole release of the Chevy Caprice and all that, and it's like 1980. Do you think that I was kind of surprised because I thought 1980, that's kind of a weird era. Do you think more and more people are starting to model, like the late 70s and early 80s kind of thing?
Well, I always have. I've always modeled 1978 as my era of choice, partially because of the vehicles that were available at the time commercially. This was before 3D printing came along. Now you can get vehicles printed for whatever era you need. So,
That's true.
Anyway.
That's really big news that Jason Schron at Rapidos is coming out with
Yes.
vehicles. I cannot wait, because
And
if they're anything like the bus,
Oh,
Right,
I have 2 of those buses, and they are amazing.
you darn well bet the quality is going to be amazing.
And they're also going to have some made specifically for auto rack loads of a lower quality, or maybe you have to do more detailing on, or maybe undecorated or whatever, but you know, so they don't price themselves out of the auto rack.
Nice.
So do you show? So Mike, do you show any of your stuff at the St. Louis RPM? Like, do you have
Yeah.
a display or anything?
Yes, I usually do.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
he always does. He brings a big auto rack. He's brought all sorts of stuff over the past, 8 or 9 years that show's been going on.
Yeah, I try to anyway.
And
Fantastic.
how did you get I'm sorry, Ken. Did I cut you off?
Don't worry about it. Just ask the question, because I'm going to ask you the same question.
Okay. Mike.
Yeah.
Can I call you Mike?
Yeah, call me Mike.
Is it Mike?
Could I call you Steve?
Can I call you
me
Michael?
Whatever you want.
Just
No.
don't call me for. Okay, never mind.
So anyways, the question I was going to ask you was, when you do the St. Louis meet, do you prepare ahead? Like, have you always modeled vehicles? Because that seems to be something like,
Yeah.
how did you so involved in doing vehicles? Do you remember what it was that kind of started pushing you in that direction?
Yeah, when I saw my first auto racks in like 1964, 65, I was 10 or 11 years old, and I liked cars. I've always had model cars, and I had a lot of Matchbox cars, but I loved trains too. And when I saw those car carriers, I thought, man, I just love those. You know, it's been a lifelong love affair.
Active work. Drew, young Drew. Are you still here? Did you leave?
No, he's there.
I'm waiting peacefully in silence.
You should interview Mike on your show.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I mean, as long as he feels favorably about Rapido, we can get along.
Oh yeah,
Right. Everybody does.
no problem there. Yeah, that bus they came out with was spectacular. Just
Absolutely.
Oh my
I have my next one on pre-order. They're over the sea from China right now, so
Yeah.
we might be seeing them soon.
I think a great tactic of his was to do individual cities, and for some reason
Yeah.
they chose the St. Louis scheme first or second. It was, and I had to have 2 of them. A bunch
Yeah.
of my friends have them. So with the lights and everything and the steerable
Yeah.
wheels,
They are amazing.
right?
That's what I started arguing with Lauren James about, was the buses, because he was doing them for, I think, London, Ontario. And I said, well, why don't you do other places, like south of the border? And he's like, well, I'm not sure. And I'm like, well, hey, people are going to want your stuff. So anyways, that's what we started arguing about. It's very entertaining, actually, if you listen to it.
That sounds awesome.
I sound like a jerk, but it's very entertaining. I
So-
have something to talk about too, Ken, when you're ready.
Okay, I'm almost not ready yet. Lionel, why
Uh-oh.
why are you even in this hobby? What got you started in this hobby? Has anybody ever interviewed you and asked you a question like that? You're the boss, always doing the interviews. What inspired you about your passion for this hobby?
Well, it's real simple. When I came down the stairs one Christmas morning when I was about 4 or 5 years old, I had the circle of trains going around the Christmas tree, scale, 027, I think it was back then.
Yep.
And it was Lionel. It said right on the locomotives, Lionel lines, and all the cars had Lionel trains or Lionel lines on it.
He had his own fate scheme.
Away I went. But my dad was into it, and he was very encouraging. And then we built a couple of, we put an L shape with a couple of pieces of plywood, and we did that. And I think model railroading is more of an artistic art form. I mean, Ken, for
Yes.
all the great work you do, I think it's more of an artistic or impressionist art form than it is anything else. And I think once people get involved in it, and once they find that passion, it's very hard for them to ever let it go, because it's just something that can always draw you back. And then it's the people. I mean, Ken, you and I were talking about this the other day privately. How exciting it is now in this day and age, in this last 5 or 6 years, how we can connect with people through social media and like YouTube, podcasts.
Yes.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, back in the day, you'd make a phone call to Canada, and I'd probably be already out $100 for this phone call at 32 minutes. But now it's visual, like in Star Trek, and it's free. Go figure. It's sort of free.
And however, I don't know how you got my number, but stop calling.
Oh my God! To anybody who's tried to call me on the home phone, it's been unplugged for 6 weeks. Because
why do we have a home phone again?
We're going to get rid of it because people call me. Different people from around call me because of the show, and sometimes I just so I'm not going to say anything else about that. But if you've been trying to call me in the last 6 weeks, the phone's off the hook.
The What's Neat
all those
hotline
telemarketers are going to be so
defunded.
Yeah, right. Those are the ones.
Yeah.
That's
The
why
warranty, the car warranty business is going to.
That's right.
But for
We'll have to shut it down.
For those of you at home that are interested, Ken's cell phone number is 352-6342.
There you go. Denny,
That's not really it.
Denny brought a Rio Grande passenger car. Rand Hood, check out this car. I photographed it outside. Denny, tell us about this beautiful brass model.
Well, everybody knows by now that I'm into brass, and especially brass passenger cars and brass domes. And somebody this week up here asked me what was my favorite dome. Naturally, my 24-karat gold-plated dome is my favorite. But outside of that, this particular dome is my favorite. And it was brought in by Division Point in May of 2009. And this car represents a chassis car that Young, the president of CNO, ordered the chassis train. And which that whole situation, the railroad historians would know it fell apart. And so the train was kind of parceled out to the different railroads. And the Rio Grande bought the observation car, and what they did is they wanted to run it in mid-train. And this particular car ran throughout the Rio Grande system on the Yapa Valley, the Royal Gorge, but it had a walkthrough. And it's such a neat car.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
Division Point went the extra miles with this, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And total interior, and that's just my pride and joy. And
Division Point is unarguably the best high-quality, detail-oriented brass manufacturer that I've ever seen since I used to collect brass even. It's amazing what they have accomplished.
Now, all the latest imports that are coming out, it's Fred Hill and
we love Fred Hill. Shout out to Fred Hill
and Dr. Dave.
Beautiful California.
For a coach yard, the detail that they go into and the time that they spend, it's a total labor of love. I mean, right now they're working on this project for the Atlantic coastline, or the seaboard. Yeah, Atlantic coastline seaboard, and the phone calls and everything else and the details, and it's just amazing what they can really do. And but anyhow, at the show and tell, this is my favorite dome car.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Hey, brother.
Hi, how are you?
It's awesome
How
to
are you
have you
guys?
today. You missed out a couple weeks because you had to work.
Yeah, they had me in shackles.
Great to have you here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for having me.
Did you notice we got Lionel Strang on?
I know, I saw that.
Did
Isn't
you
that
see that
crazy?
today?
Yeah, I wish you'd just get it done and come to St. Louis.
Look at what Denny's got. Ooh. Oh, this is that
Look at that. Oh my goodness.
paint scheme that we showed last week on the show. The Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis J3 steam locomotive. It was amazing that Campbell Rice knew the whole history about this engine that they're bringing back to live steam. They're rehabilitating it. And Denny's got this beautiful jacket that he made, which has got I think this one's got over 400,000 stitches in it.
Wow.
Wow.
These are
That's impressive,
stitched,
Denny.
not printed.
Yeah, and this
by hand?
This jacket is, well, I'm in the process of making for the steam crew some special jackets that will have, like this has 2 logos on it. They're going to have 10.
Yes, Lionel, they're by hand. He sat at home with a little needle and thread.
Yeah.
But what I really would like to take, to make these jackets, it just takes a tremendous amount of time, and I'd like to really take just a few moments to thank my crew when we go to train shows. And rail fans, you go to a train show and you look for all your items, but if you actually knew what went in to that train show to get there.
The booth, the setup.
And to give you an example, I'll be at Train Fest in November. We'll leave Wednesday about 6 o'clock in the morning. We're 1,200 miles. We'll load a truck up, and it'll take us about 4 hours to load the truck and our checklist, make sure that we got everything. Then it'll take us 2 days to get to Milwaukee. Thursday night we'll drop off, and that will take about 2 hours to drop everything off. And then Friday we set up, and for my large display, it takes me 10 to 12 hours to set up.
Wow.
And it's really tough. And I have a crew that has been helping me for years and years and years. And they're just great. I have this one couple, they're from Massachusetts. That was Massachusetts bad. They're from New Hampshire. Tom and Tony Nelson. And they've helped me for 20-some years. And they come and they'll follow me around to help me do train shows. And I have a guy that's in my train club. And it's a lot of work to bring something to you so you can buy. And then we got to tear down, and
that's where the real friends.
That's right.
Yeah, and then we got to drive, to the next show or whatever. And so I just got a great crew, and I want to thank them for constantly supporting me. And then the gal that runs this machine, she is the greatest little gal. And she's older than me, and can outwork me.
Is she older than Lionel, though?
No, nobody's older than Lionel.
Okay, got it.
So I want to say thanks, Pat, for all the hard work, and she keeps me straight. She'll call me up, and I've taught her how to be a rail fan, because
nice.
She'll go out and she'll send me a text. I just saw a CSX. What does this mean? And And so now when she gets an order, she says, that colors aren't right. That customer, why would they want that? And I think, hey, that's pretty neat, Wow. And I said, well, because that's what he wants, But you only really as good as the people around you. And
boy, you can say that again.
I've been so blessed with just good quality people helping me down through the years.
Amen.
And I just wanna,
yes.
Kind of like this show.
You can say that again.
Like her.
Look at
Like
this.
me.
I am blessed.
Yeah, no doubt.
If I'm so old,
Blessed.
if we don't set this up, I'm
That's
gonna be
a lot
dead
of
soon.
blessing. I'm gonna go outside and get hit by lightning tomorrow.
But thanks for all the people that helped me, and thanks for Ken. This pandemic has been very tough on us vendors.
That's because you haven't been able to do train shows,
Yeah.
but you've
And,
discovered another way that
to market.
helps. Yes,
And that's
rock and
what's
roll.
neat this week. Has been a real blessing
And
to
all
me.
of the folks that have sponsored our show have said the same thing. Some of them have said it's just wonderful how we promote the hobby, that they're 100% behind our approach, that we've had some amazing people on all through the first 157 shows. Thank you, Chris Palomares, for making me do this. This is all your fault, brother. I love you so much, man. He's awesome.
And all the interaction in our Facebook site, our YouTube site,
Yes.
all
Yes.
of you guys that are watching.
And look at the jackets we've got, and the clothing, and the hats, and the garments that you can buy on Denny's website, and also look at the wonderful people that made the indexes, the folks that made the index for the What's Neat show at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, and the index that's for this podcast.
And they're wearing What's Neat jackets now.
That's right,
That's
Denny.
right.
Thank you very much. You are quite the businessman for sending them jackets. Thank you so much.
But just think, here a viewer of this show thought enough of us to send us these pastries.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And naturally, and I know he wanted to rib Lionel a little bit, but
Just a little bit.
just a little
Thanks,
bit.
Chuck. Yeah, definitely.
I wanted to see him smile. I love it.
But
But Lionel
Chuck,
spends so much time making other people smile all the time.
Absolutely.
But this time we got to make him laugh.
Well, hey, you know, Lionel, you've got a really nice smile. I never see you smile like that. Yeah.
He's a handsome devil.
He is. Yes, he is.
I am.
Hey, take off your glasses so I can see your eyeballs.
Uh-oh. Yeah, no can do.
Yeah, there he is. There's the person
Never
behind
been
the
seen
shade.
before.
Yeah.
An exclusive first appearance.
That's right.
What's
Can
that
I
round,
get some-
deadly-looking thing there? That
It's an almond paste, like a cake,
looks good.
and
is.
and
I don't want to alarm anybody, but there's a spider the size of a Buick in my room.
There is.
Just burn the whole place down. Just burn it down.
Yeah, that'll take care of it.
I have
Yes,
something.
yes,
Are we
Lionel.
done? Are we done, or do I have time to have something?
Go ahead. We're not done yet.
Always have time for you.
I didn't say it's the best hobby in the world. Let's go run some trains yet.
But
I
it
actually
is.
have something. I brought something tonight, and Ken is going to show the pictures as I'm talking about it. My friend Kaylee Zhang, who lives in West Hartford, Connecticut, and she works. She's a
Rapido employee.
no. She's like she builds planes. Like it's very complicated, but she's an engineer that makes planes and engines and stuff like that. But her hobby, of course, is model railroading, and she's very, very talented. And she works at Tom's Trains in Wethersfield, and and does. So she rebuilt one of my locomotives, my Jeep 7, with dynamic brakes. And I just wanted to give her a big shout out and show these pictures on here while we're talking. And she did all kinds of stuff and replaced she just added all kinds of Details West parts. Michele, is that your favorite place to get all your detail parts? Is Details West?
Yeah, it really is. I get all my detail parts there, every one of them.
And she added a
Touche.
decoder. She added a
Look, Lionel,
decoder.
I'm more of the support system here rather than the train expert, so you can't ask me too many questions.
Yeah, she lets all these people come in my basement. It's okay. It's
she
like
cashes the checks. That's the
That's
most
right,
important
that's-
thing.
Because I pay the bills.
Anyways, the main thing to remember about Kaylee is that she loves sun chips, regular sun chips, the original sun chips.
Really? Why
Not-
doesn't she like the cheese ones? I mean, they're so much better.
I mean,
No, the
harvest-
garden salsa.
Yeah,
mm.
the harvest
No.
garden salsa is the best.
Yeah, that
Well,
I agree.
and-
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
And the two of them, Kaylee, then send my locomotive to my buddy Tracy Boyd, who's the official flight attendant of the AML network. She actually is a flight attendant for Southwest, so we made her the official flight attendant of the AML network.
that's
And
awesome.
she yeah, I know, right? It's like, how cool. So anyways, the two of them managed to get this engine to me, and Kaylee did all this really cool stuff. So Ken showed those pictures. It's very cool. And as you noticed, Michele, it has dynamic brakes. It's a Jeep 7.
I
It's an
did
Apple.
notice that. I did.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You were so impressed with the handrail. I remember
That's
you
right.
asked me
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
I did ask
Yeah.
you about that. I do know something, just not, just don't ask me too many detailed questions.
You know what? Every time you come on, I'm going to ask you a detailed question. I'm going to ask you all sorts of questions.
Okay, and
By
I'm
the-
going to try to fake it through because I don't
What
know.
does a check valve do?
That's right.
Exactly.
I still don't know. I really tried to find out for about 4 hours during COVID quarantine, and I couldn't figure it out. So it's an ongoing thing.
Just don't run out of breaker fluid.
Okay.
So what?
It's obvious I've totally lost control of this show tonight.
Yes.
We're at
My microphone gain keeps walking up, and I'm not sure why. So Skype's kind of odd in that way. I apologize if that's messing anything up.
Nope.
It's
No?
completely messed everything up.
I know. I can understand.
But you got great hair.
He did
Yeah,
have
of
great
course.
hair.
It makes up for it.
Every time that
Great hair.
Amtrak train runs back there, I think it's on the ground. Do
I
you hear
know.
those wheels?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're running. What are we running tonight? We're running the Missouri Mule tonight. That's the train. It went from Chicago to St. Louis to Kansas City and just back and forth like that.
Yeah.
In fact, that train is still running. This is a 1993 version of that train. 96. Anyway, What do we know about trains? This isn't the train show.
Yeah.
This is a show about the people, some of the best people in the world. So I'm going to go around the table one more time. Have we talked about everything that everybody wants to cover? Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for your friendship.
Amen.
And that's, my child bride says, you have the best friends in the world. And I
counts
just
for a
say
lot.
thank you.
Yeah.
You do, and we love you.
Yeah.
Good.
Rock and roll, Michele. Thank you for being here tonight. Anything out in Skype land that you guys got to say before I say goodbye?
Lionel.
Oh,
Yes,
good
Lionel.
here.
Do you
He's
think
got
I'll
his
ever
Lionel's
be
got his
back
hand
on
raised.
again?
Pardon me,
Think I'll
Lionel?
ever be on again, Ken?
Lionel? Will
Yeah.
Lionel be on again?
Of course.
Yes, Michele likes you. You will be on.
Can I bring my friend Dave Abeleys from the Onondaga Cutoff?
You can
Yes.
bring anybody you want on, Lionel. If they're your friends, they're our friends.
Will he sign my signals and interlocking book that he just came out with if he comes?
He will.
Oh, that's the guy that said some really nice stuff about me. Yeah, he can come.
Well, are you going to have anybody on that says anything bad?
No, I'm not.
This guy loves all the work that Ken. Dave Abeleys loves all the work that Ken has done and has followed him over the years. And I said to him, "Would you like to be on the Ken Patterson show with me?" And he said, "Seriously?" And I'm like, "Yeah. Do you really think I could be on?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can. I know people. I have."
Drew, you are very impressive, and
Yes,
I'll tell you
sir.
what,
Thank you.
you're gonna do things in this hobby that are gonna be done well past the time I'm in the hobby and out of it. So,
And when you're dead, probably.
well, I wasn't
Wow,
gonna say the word
throwing
dead.
that
but-
out there.
That's a far jump.
Yeah, rock and roll.
We're all
okay.
going to be dead, and Drew will still be doing this because he's 16.
Yeah.
What
And we're
is it?
not.
What is it?
Yeah,
with
what
you?
is it with these kind of
My God, what
dark
do you have
turns?
on your head?
Is that a sock?
2 socks.
2 socks.
I mean,
That was the wolf's name in Dancing with Wolves.
Yes, it was. It was the Wolf's Name. Yeah, that was the best movie ever.
Yes, it was.
God, that was a great movie. Oh my God, I watch it over and over again. Lionel, you're awesome. Look at that head.
Yeah.
look at that head, man.
Drew, the new Daniel, you're awesome too, brother. Mike, buddy,
Yeah.
thank you for coming here tonight.
Thanks.
Michele, God, I love sitting next to you on this show. You too, Denny. Sugar Fire, Joshua, I love it when you're here.
I love being
Thank
here.
you for running camera, Austin Allard. And with that, guys, this is the best hobby in the world. We are going to take our NCE throttles, the hammerhead and the small one, divvy them up. We got 3 more in the room, and we're going to run a lot of different trains tonight. So with that, guys, let's go run some trains.
See you later.